In an age where feats of aerobic excellence is becoming more and more common and accessible to athletes of all abilities, from Olympic champions to recreational runners, the implications of nutritional aids has become synonymous with endurance events, none more prevalent than the energy gel. These pocket-sized sachets have become the game changer for boosts of energy. However, with so much noise online, what can you believe? So, block out all the noise you hear online. Let's talk about the science behind energy gels and if natural alternatives can be just as effective, if not more effective, for endurance athletes.
To understand energy gels and their potential alternatives, we must first understand energy systems. The body has three energy systems. The first is the ATP-CP system, for short bursts of high-intensity exercise. The second dominant energy system is the anaerobic glycolysis system, for durations between 10 and 2 minutes. The third energy system is the aerobic system, which becomes dominant throughout prolonged exercise that exceeds 2 minutes of moderate to low intensity, and uses oxygen to break down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. It is this final system that energy gels are targeting to maintain. Fats and carbohydrates provide the primary energy sources for the aerobic system. Fats are stored as adipose tissue around the body and provides long-term energy throughout the breakdown of triglycerides into free fatty acids. However, as they are not stored directly in the muscle site, this is a long process to becoming useful energy. Carbohydrates, on the other hand, are stored primarily as muscle glycogen, found directly in the bloodstream of skeletal muscles, making it immediately available for energy for more efficient ATP production, making it the most preferable form of energy throughout aerobic exercise.
What is an energy gel? Energy gels are small sachets that contain a high glycemic index. This states the glucose concentration from 0 to 100, resulting in a blood sugar spike. This then produces short-term energy for an athlete.
But what's in an energy gel? The four key ingredients are simple sugars, maltodextrin, electrolytes, and BCAAs. Simple sugars are carbohydrates made up of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, either alone or in pairs. However, can also have complex carbohydrates, which, due to its structure, must go through extra steps to be broken down, making simple sugars quick and efficient source of fuel. Sugar can be broken into families of saccharides. Monosaccharide, referring to one sugar molecule, such as glucose and fructose, or disaccharide, meaning two sugar molecules, such as sucrose, which is where glucose and fructose bind together. These are our three main players when it comes to fast and efficient energy sources found in both commercial energy gels and natural alternatives. Glucose has an ATP yield of 4.85, which makes it the most efficient, thus the primary carb source stored in the bloodstream for quick absorption. Fructose has an ATP yield of 4.25 per O2, making it slightly less efficient than glucose and is stored in the liver, requiring to be broken down through glycogenolysis. Finally, sucrose, a disaccharide, has the smallest ATP yield of 4, commonly found in fruit and veg, and requires an extra step to be broken down before absorption. Now, the GLUT5 transporter is a recent and key player in carbohydrate oxidation and can be utilized to maximize endurance performance. GLUT5 is a fructose-specific transporter that facilitates the absorption of fructose from the small intestines. Whilst fructose is a secondary source to glucose due to being metabolized in the liver, a study by Jenkins et al. Shows the combination of glucose and fructose allows for increased carbohydrate absorption and oxidation, since the SGLT1, the glucose transporter, maxes out at 60 grams per hour of glucose, whilst adding fructose at a 2-to-1 ratio via GLUT5 allows the body to absorb up to 90 grams an hour, enhancing endurance and oxidation of carbohydrates. The study went on to conclude that when glucose and fructose are consumed together, the total carbohydrate oxidation rates increase from 1 gram a minute with glucose alone to 1.75 grams a minute. Furthermore, by diversifying the carbohydrate transport pathway, it reduces the gastrointestinal stress. Because of this, energy gels have utilized the combination of both glucose and fructose. Maltodextrin is a glucose polymer. However, unlike the monosaccharide glucose, maltodextrin is a highly processed, complex carbohydrate molecule designed to replicate the energy capabilities of sucrose, with 1 gram containing 4 calories. Electrolytes are utilized by commercialized gels to replenish the body's sodium levels, often lost in sweat, to rehydrate the body during prolonged exercise. Some elite marathon winners lose up to 10% body mass in hot conditions, making it vital for replenishment. BCAAs, or branched-chain amino acids, contain 3 of the 9 essential amino acids, which are leucine, isoleucine, and valine, commonly found in protein-rich diets. Studies show that BCAAs can increase muscle protein synthesis by 22%, reduce DOMS, and increase recovery time. It has also been shown to alter chemicals in your brain such as serotonin to decrease exercise-induced fatigue. This makes it an essential component of energy gels in order to maximize endurance success. Now, how and when should we be taking energy gels? The AIS suggests no fuels needed for exercise under 45 minutes. Small amounts of carbohydrates or gels for sustained high-intensity exercise between 45 and 75 minutes. 30 to 60 grams an hour for endurance exercise between 1 and 2.5 hours. Up to 90 grams an hour of carbohydrates for 2.5 to 3 hours of endurance exercise. Which foods are the key competitors to energy gels? Honey offers benefits of a balanced energy release, containing approximately 50% glucose and 44% fructose. We know this to be an optimal combination, facilitating rapid absorption and oxidation, providing both immediate and sustained energy. It also possesses antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, which help mitigate muscle inflammation and oxidative stress. However, honey has cons of low sodium content, unable to replenish electrolytes during exercise. Honey also has a low glycemic index. With a GI of 50, honey has a more gradual release in blood sugar levels, which although offers many benefits by reducing the risk of energy crashes during prolonged exercise and DOMS, it doesn't replicate the glucose spike of energy gels that can be managed accordingly through correct carbohydrate race intake. Mature dates offer the benefits of high carbohydrate content, being rich in glucose and sucrose, providing a quick source of energy. Consuming 4 mature dates offers approximately 72 grams of carbohydrates, making them an efficient fuel source. Moderate potassium levels and also high glycemic index. Its cons, however, are high fiber content. The natural fiber in dates may cause gastrointestinal discomfort, according to some studies, especially during intense exercise. It also results in a lower release of energy, not ideal for endurance races. Raisins offer the benefits of being a quick energy source, containing a mix of glucose and fructose, with a glucose to fructose ratio of approximately 1.1 to 1, facilitating efficient energy release. It has moderate potassium content and a high glycemic index, with a GI of 66. Its cons, however, are being high in fiber. Maple syrup offers the benefits of being nutrient-rich. Composed of 96% sucrose, it provides essential minerals like potassium, calcium, and manganese. This supports muscle function and energy metabolism, and moderate glycemic index. However, its cons are limited sodium content, unable to replenish electrolytes. And raisins are a winner, with a high glycemic index and a great glucose to fructose ratio, they most closely replicate commercial energy gels. So, what are the major differences between natural and commercial energy supplements? A study published in the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition examined the effects of raisins and sport shoes on endurance performance in 11 male runners over 3 trials: water, raisin, and carbohydrate chew, spaced 7 days apart. The results showed that both raisins and chews significantly improved 5-kilometer performance compared to water, with little difference. However, raisins induced greater fat oxidation and muscular stress. This fat oxidation, garnered by the high fiber content of raisins and other natural alternatives, can reduce the absorption speed of glucose, which is a disadvantage for endurance performance. However, by not having this high glucose spike and subsequent crash, it has a positive effect on recovery time. Gradual and prolonged energy absorption through a more varied energy source like the natural alternatives means the effect of DOMS will be lessened. Furthermore, the antioxidant properties of many of these natural alternatives assist in the recovery process and anti-inflammation. So, is it natural or is it commercial? Well, every person is different, but we see that they both have the same carbohydrate properties. When going for natural foods, we want to prioritize foods with glucose and fructose to maximize GLUT5 activation, ideally something like raisins. When you are going for gels, things like caffeine and electrolytes will add extra value in comparison to natural alternatives. But hey, next time you go for a run, think twice about grabbing that energy gel, as we see here that natural alternatives are just as good.